Hello everybody, Shooty here for take two of this video. I got like really like shouty at the in the other recording. I was like, oh, that's kind of not great. So, I'm gonna do this again. I don't want to get shouty. I don't want to be the angry video game nerd of IDW comics. That would just be cringe. So anyway, I'm reviewing issue 32 of IDW Sonic, and right off the rip, I'm going to complain about the art. Normally I do the art after the story, or maybe I don't, I don't know. But I have to complain about something with the art that is... Something about the art that is particularly annoying, and funny at the same time. But before I do that, I have to explain to those of you who do not know, the 180-degree rule. So, if you Google it, the 180-degree rule in comics, derived from filmmaking, dictates that when depicting a scene with two characters, the spatial relationship, left and right, between them should remain consistent across panels unless a deliberate change in orientation is indicated. Crossing this line without proper context can confuse the reader and disrupt the flow of the narrative. So, when you're watching, let's say, for instance, the Andy Griffith Show, or maybe that's too old, maybe Family Matters. If you've ever watched Family Matters, you have Carl Winslow, he's sitting on his chair watching TV, and then Steve Urkel comes in to the house, and then he walks up and he stands next to Carl Winslow, and he's talking with Carl Winslow. And then if the camera changes angles, as in they change which shot that they're filming the scene from, and then magically Steve Urkel is on Carl's left side instead of his right time side between shots, that would be breaking the 180-degree rule. It's a continuity error, if you will. You're losing the orientation of characters between shots. So, with that explanation out of the way, I present to you evidence A. In panel 1, we could see Blaze and her koala manservant standing there, just looking at their box of bullshit, talking to each other. And then it cuts to the next panel, and the koala man is now suddenly on Blaze's left side, or I guess we'll talk about them oriented compared to us, how we're facing them, and not the orientation of the characters. So when I say left and right, I'm talking about us, the viewer, not the characters. So the koala man is now on the left side of Blaze, and Blaze is on the right side, whereas in the first panel, Blaze is on the left and Koala is on the right. The second time this occurs, evidence B, Rouge is on the left, Tails is on the right, and then in panel 2, Tails is on the left, Rouge is on the right. That's two instances in one comic book of the 180-degree rule being broken, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see any indication of these characters moving. If we go back to evidence A real quick, I don't see, like the koala isn't really walking around the side of the cart, which, by the way, I find it kind of funny how the soul emeralds are being carted around on like just a basic ass cart that you see like at Lowe's when you're shopping for lumber or some shit. That's what they're pushing, like the soul emeralds around. It's not even like they have like a fancy like gold encrusted like boudoir or whatever or anything like that, with like wheels and shit. It's literally just like they went to the maintenance closet and they took some They took the thing they usually use to bring the rock salt off the rock salt for like de-icing the sidewalk or some shit like that. I don't know. They just it's like, yep, okay. And then evidence too. I, and maybe I'm wrong about the second one. No, I'm still not wrong because I think with the second like on evidence B, you'll see that Rouge is like the wall is in front of her, and then the camera's cutting to the front of to the other side where the wall is, but it's like very clearly Tails is on the right side here, and so when the camera turns around, he should still be on her right, but he's not. He's now on her left, and there's no indication that he was like moving. So it's like, what's the like? All right, I'm not going to talk about this anymore. It's a really annoying continuity error I've noticed. Called the 180-degree rule. Follow it. um, it's otherwise the art's fine for the most part. I can't complain. I don't see a lot of evidence of like 3D assets being used or anything like that. Maybe like the evidence A panel on Blaze, but I don't think they really used any like 3D assets. Now I'm going to talk about the story. Now that I'm back on evidence A, so the previous two issues, Sonic ends up in the Soul Dimension. Sonic wakes up in the Soul Dimension with amnesia, and he's basically flirting with Blaze. Do you think anything interesting happens between now and then? The answer is no. Nothing interesting happens. Blaze just decides after a day of putting up with Sonic's bullshit, she wants to get his flirty ass out of there. She got tired of him flirting on him. Sorry, Perp, but Blaze is not into Sonic. She's like, this guy's fucking annoying. Let's get him out of here. So she gets the fucking Soul Emeralds, and she uses them to restore his memories somehow. I'm not exactly certain what the science is behind it. Usually you use shock therapy to fix people, not fire therapy, but, you know, I guess third-degree burns can also fix somebody's memory. And then she kicks his ass back into his own world. And then a battle ensues that's really not that interesting. So, Amnesia arc, complete waste of time. It was pointless. Wasted potential, as always. IDW, wasted potential. I just think that, like, I guess if you want my opinion on what they could have done to make this interesting, is they could have like done a story, right, where Sonic, he gets his amnesia and he wakes up in the Soul Dimension, and Blaze shows up, right? But she shows up like hot and ready for a fight because she thinks she's under attack or some shit, right? So when she shows up, Sonic's there, and she's like, "Oh, it's just Sonic." But Sonic, he's got amnesia. He's in an impact crater, and then a lady made of fire shows up, and then you can see where this is going. Maybe you could build a story on Sonic with amnesia thinks he's being attacked by Blaze. He doesn't remember anything, but he does know he's in a lot of pain, and some lady is trying to hurt him. So he runs. And then you could have built an arc where Blaze has to get Sonic back, and then she has to help him get his memories back. There we go. Uh, I I just don't see how difficult it would have been for them to, and they could have got more issues out of it too. In fact, maybe not even that. They could have still did like 3 issues, maybe 4, if they cut out all the stuff with everybody else, basically, like with Eggman and his stupid fucking plan where he straps Omega to the front of a robot because I guess that makes his current robot better. Uh, it's like why not make it more interesting? Why not have just this concept of like you have 2 characters who usually are friends, but they're rivals again, because that's what Blaze and Sonic started out as in Sonic Rush. They were rivals. They weren't friends initially. They saw each other as adversaries. You could kind of reintroduce that concept in a manner that's organic to the story you wanted to tell. You wanted to tell a story of Sonic having amnesia, and you're putting him in Blaze's world. Why not reintroduce the concept of these two are adversaries? Um, it just would have been more interesting. And then put an actual adversary in there. I know they can't use Eggman Nega, uh, because or ne- I don't know, I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. But the anti-Eggman, I'm going to call him. They can't use him because Sega is concerned his name sounds too much like a certain gamer word, uh, which maybe a tiny bit, but it's funny. Uh, why not rename the character, and two, why not just I don't know, then make another character. Why not make another enemy for Blaze and the gang to fight? You, what? Where is this like fear of doing anything at all come from? I don't understand. Uh, you could add steaks to the plot, big delicious T-bone steaks. Um, there's only so many different ways I could say it, so I think I'll end it here. I know it's going to be a shorter video, but I don't want to keep like talking in circles. It's just like it's kind of frustrating. I was way more frustrated in my other video, and I don't want to go back to that. I'll continue. Maybe I did go back and read the first 3 issues of IDW Sonic again for like the 4th time. And then I noticed the 3rd issue, the art's a little funny. I might talk about that. I don't know yet. We'll see. Anyway, everybody, take care.